Especially going to school. You ready?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hi, welcome to another episode of... Okay, redo. Hi, welcome to another episode of Hatching's podcast. What episode?
20.
Yeah, it's a big number. I'm David Myers.
I'm Marshall Haas.
I'm John Wheatley.
And we're the founders of Need Want.
That's it.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Finally got
There
through
it is.
that.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot has happened since. Last one.
Yep. Last one was
that was
December
China. Was that-
16th,
that was China
2015.
episode?
Yeah.
So
Today's February 2nd.
we thought this episode would be good if we did like a kind of year in review, like, you know, go over everything that kind of happened last year very quickly, then kind of go everything we're kind of working on right now, and then kind of go over some stuff we want to work on in the future. So that's going to be the rough format for the episode.
Yeah, I think we did one of these for 2014. I think right when you joined, I think.
I think I was in that episode,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I remember being like, just kind of
That's
sat
a weird
there.
episode to pull you in on, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything we talked about, you were in here.
Yeah.
It's funny. Well, we wrote a blog post that we launched like a month ago that's like a full in-depth on what happened last year across every single like brand and business that we have, and then just like big highlights across like company, like growing employees and stuff like that. But we thought we'd talk about the highlights, kind of why things went well, I guess, last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the idea? So we basically 3x revenue from 2014, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good.
Always good to
Right,
go.
right.
To go
all
up
because
that
of
way.
you coming on.
That's a thing. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
It
Yeah,
happens.
thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get in my notes. I'm
Yeah,
just
we
rambling
were
here.
looking at a graph trying to figure out when I joined in correlation to like revenue up, and there's kind of like a gray area of when I actually started like having like designs implemented and stuff. But there's a period where it kind of dips. But that's when you say I joined, and I say like kind of right after. 'Cause then it sort of starts to
Well, there's always a
starts to
dip.
go up.
There's always a dip from Christmas to January.
Yeah, that's
So like,
we can't help that.
but it is when you joined. So,
Yeah.
and we're up this January. So
It means I've improved that much over the past
Yeah.
year.
You want to kick us off?
I think I might have had these out of order, but sure, I will.
Okay.
I'll go. The first thing I have on this list is the Blow People's Mind Fund.
Mm-hmm.
That's new for this year.
Yeah, I thought so. All right, the next thing after that, we'll get to that in a minute. The next thing is we spent $100,000 on Facebook ads,
Yeah,
which
that's
I mean, I just thought
That's
worth
a thing.
talking about because
Yeah.
$100,000 is a lot of money,
Yeah.
and we didn't actually realize
Until
you logged in.
Until it was spent.
You're like, oh, actually, we spent a lot of money on this.
Yeah. It was like
Um,
$100,000 like $300 or something, like right at it.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I think we talked a little bit about Peel 2 episodes ago, but Peel was like the big reason why we had such a big year. Like, we launched a ton of new products. We really dialed in advertising with Peel. Like, it's just firing on all cylinders now. Like, conversion rate, like daily revenue is like so consistent. Like, everything is always up and down. I know every Saturday is our lowest. Every weekday is about the same, with like little ups and downs. Sundays are big. And like, it's just so rock
Yeah.
solid every single day.
Like we were all really worried about how things would land after Christmas, because traditionally, you know, you always get this big boost in like Black Friday, November, December, Christmas, and then typically after that it just kind of tanks.
Yeah.
We're actually going to talk about that a little bit in a minute, so I won't say too much about that. You made an interesting point though. You were saying that our cost per acquisition for Peel is kind of slowly trickling up, but also our average checkout size is trickling up at a much faster rate because we're introducing all these new products and stuff.
Yeah. So cost per click, I think the last time I remember seeing it, like, or our cost per acquisition average of last year was about $15 or $16 for Peel, and we'd make about $30 in revenue. Really, really good. We were happy with it. That's just like Facebook ads, and then we just get tons of word of mouth stuff as well. And I think, average was like 30 something dollars, like 31, 32. And it's now like, it depends on the day. I don't know about like monthly average. It's now like 40 to 44, sometimes even like 48. So like it's creeped up a little bit, but our average checkout size is like almost doubled. I guess.
Doing the juice bagging, Peel Glass and stuff couldn't have been a better
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah. So for us, like more things that are like we want to do more stuff outside of just cases. I mean, still in the same category, but like anything that is similar to I'm buying a case, something for my phone, and something else that goes with that is an easy upsell, and it's the reason why chargers and screen protectors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like a huge reason. Like, you know, our other products kind of ebb and flow throughout the year, and Peel is just like a steady climb the whole year. And then September through Christmas was just crazy.
Yeah.
Next thing I have on this is we grew from 3 employees to 7 employees, which really all happened in like
Last month.
November, December.
Yeah.
And as I was mentioning, it's kind of a scary time to do it because, you know, things go well usually in November, December because of Black Friday and Christmas. So we had this big bump in revenue, and then we brought on, you know, 4 people, 3 people.
You were 4 in basically like December, January,
Uh-huh.
and then nobody until Megan, who was October, November, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So, you know, Christmas holidays.
Mm-hmm.
She's like executive assistant, and then also is editor of minimums now.
Yep.
And then Jenny, who's head of support, who November, December also.
Yeah.
And then we were like, geez, we have like more than enough people. And the developer we were working with that we love, who was freelance, we were gonna lose him because he was gonna join a company, and we really, really wanted him.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
He's always done really good stuff.
We love Robbie. And basically, like, it was either we're gonna have to find someone new for freelance or bring him on full time.
Yeah,
And it
I
was-
think like that was always the plan. It was just kind of figuring out a timing thing.
Yeah, and it was kind of like I wouldn't call it like a leap of faith or anything, but it was a little scary because like.
Because we're still in these prime months, we don't know if it'll take off, and then all of a sudden we have to pay three more salaries.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been awesome. Like,
Yeah, it all worked out. And,
it would have been crazy not to have someone full time through like the smart betting launch and Christmas.
yeah, everyone's been super busy, which is good. We've had plenty of stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That actually leads quite nicely into the next one. I'm going to change the order a little bit, but the December, January, like we're saying, like traditionally things just tank in January relative to December. And if you look at our historical graphs, like that has happened consistently. You know, we'll get this big month and then it's just like, you know, kind of terrible in January.
That's everybody in commerce.
Yeah.
Like all of our friends, they're all like, like, you know, who knows what's going to happen in January though. Like December's awesome, but like you have no idea. So, I mean, we felt the same way. Like we had all this stuff going as far as like, you know, marketing things we've implemented the last few months. We just still had no idea. And luckily, it's actually January's been bigger than December, which completely shocking.
None of us were expecting that.
Yeah. And that's without launching smart betting too, which we'll talk about in a moment. But we launched smart betting, and that's its own new revenue. But even if that hadn't happened, it still would have been quite a lot more than December. So I don't know. A lot of the stuff that we've been doing is working well, and we're really like doubling down on, I guess, what we've been doing.
What would you attribute that to? It's kind of hard to pick one or two things, but
honestly, like I hate this term, but the whole idea of like a tipping point. I think Peel really had a tipping point in like September when like the whole like product hunt community like all now knew about Peel, and it was like really embraced by like that early adopter community, which is now like pretty big. Like product hunt's really big. I think it's that with ads, like word of mouth is just like gone crazy now, I think. I mean
ads, referrals.
I mean, it's that, and then all these other things we have in place, like conversion on the site's really, really locked in. Ads are locked in. Email marketing is locked in. Word of mouth has always been really good.
Support is now locked in. That's something that we struggled with kind of towards the end of last year. You know, we had these big months in November, December. To be honest, we weren't really ready for them in terms of both stock and also support.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but we kind of pissed a lot of people off in those months. Like when we were in China, like
Yeah.
it was just kind of bad time. I think we probably talked about it a little bit, but that should now be all a solved problem. Like
Yeah.
we hired Ginny to be head of support. She's now doing an amazing job just keeping everybody happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like to sum up what went wrong is new iPhone came out. We ordered a ton of stock in preparation for it. Completely misjudged how much stock to order and how like it was our biggest month ever in the history of the company, and we got tons of like products that did really well, tons of interest, and we couldn't get cases to customers fast enough. And we were just so buried in customer support emails that like all of us and Jason and Megan answering emails like for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah. And it's tricky
We're not getting out of it.
because we had to deal with a lot of the stuff involved with getting the cases and like both the work and the support stuff combined went way up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
At the same time, so it became really hard to focus on support because we have other stuff to do.
Up until a month ago, like a month or two ago only, we were still doing all the packaging here.
Yeah.
Like fulfillment was in the warehouse, but product would arrive here and packaging would arrive here, and Jason, sometimes all of us would put the cases in the actual packaging
Actually,
and then send it to the warehouse.
we were all signing everything too.
God.
Every single thing, we'd all hand sign it,
Yeah.
which
I'm
a nice
proud
touch,
of,
but
yeah.
So Jason would
didn't
come with
scale
like
very
a giant
well.
box and be like, "Hey, we have like 5,000 cards to sign." And it's
Yeah,
like,
we'd
okay.
like come in on Saturdays and like time ourselves and like race, like to try to make it better.
Yeah.
Like we've probably signed like 30,000 cards or something. Like so we were like,
Yeah.
I'm done. Like, I can't do anymore.
That was hard to balance.
Yeah.
Some dark times.
That is so crazy to think
but we moved
about.
past it.
That was like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So now packaging happens at the factory and it just goes straight to the warehouse, minus a couple small things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think iPad cases are still here until we do new packaging on that.
Yep.
So yeah, and we were in China during a lot of this too, which was awful. Yeah, so now support's really dialed in. It leads in nicely to
So the next thing we have to talk about, which is this is more current stuff. So that's kind of some of the historical stuff we did last year. This is now into more current stuff, which is
kind of late last year is when we added this.
yeah. So we launched smart betting.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the Blow People's Mind Fund.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Oh,
Oh, you thought it
whatever. We
segue
can-
from China?
whatever. We can do the local Mind Fund. Let's do that.
Okay, so late what do you think it was? October, October, November. It's actually something we wanted to do pretty early on in the company's life. Is whenever you have a customer that like reaches out and drops some like nugget of information that you can like use to like blow their mind. For example, when smart betting was still in limbo, there was this woman who reached out like 2 Christmases ago and was like, "Oh, like, are you guys gonna miss Christmas? Literally, my 13-year-old son has smart betting at the top of his wish list and then a PS4 after." And we were just like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool. Your son is awesome. We felt so bad it wasn't gonna, make it in time back then. And I think we bought him like Need for Speed, the game. We're like, "Hey, like, we're so sorry, but like, what are the games he's asking for?" She told us, we're like, "Cool, we have that one covered. Like, don't buy that game for him if you're buying the PS4. And we sent it with like a nice card, like, "Hey Jimmy, like, that's awesome. We're so sorry."
actually Jimmy?
I don't know.
I was gonna say-
It's like a
Jimmy.
stereotypical like
Yeah.
little boy.
Jimmy who loves betting.
So it's just like
doesn't cost us very much and it has a big effect, I think.
it's a nice story that hopefully they kind of are like, "Wow, that's really cool."
Yeah.
And we wanted to do it not in the context of like apologizing, but in the context of just like, somebody's just cool. We find out they're like a dog lover and we randomly like gift them with something. It's like word of mouth is so important, and it's just a way of I don't know what the word is, but making that happen more often and just like giving customers fun stories. But to do this properly, it's actually a lot of work. Like you really have to like look you can't just like bang through customer support tickets. You have to like really like stalk them on Twitter or look at their profiles and see if they're like a football fan or like a runner or something.
See what they want.
Yeah, like they're not really like dropping these nuggets of like, oh yeah, and by the way, I love football. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So to say all that, we basically implemented this thing called the Blow People's Mind Fund, which Ginny's in charge of, and she basically has a budget every month that we highly suggest she should spend all of it on just like, cool gifts and scenarios for
It's
for
$500,
customers.
right? $300.
Yeah, for now we might up it depending on like, how it goes.
Which actually goes a long way with stuff like this.
Yeah.
Um,
Per month, yeah. And she's probably been doing it 2.5 months. And there's like one example is this guy reached out about smart betting the other day, asking if we had tested it thoroughly with cats. And I think he DM'd me, and I was like, we've tested it, but like not really with cats. Like,
Yeah.
And I was like, why do you ask? And I think basically he was really funny. We were just like, no, but like, you should get rid of your cat.
He was worried that his cat was going to kind of claw up his
Oh,
bedding.
yeah.
And we were like, well, I mean, it really depends on the cat. Like, I feel like if a cat sit there all day trying to
really
claw it, like, it's
tried.
probably going to like eventually
Yeah.
like ruin the
I
lid
think
a
we were
little
cracking
bit.
jokes with him. We were just like, well, really, you should just get rid of your cat.
Like we were talking whilst this DM conversation was going on, and then like we were just like, you should just get rid of his cat, like just,
Yeah, I think we
get a new
said
cat
that.
or something. And
Yeah.
then at the same
As a
time,
joke.
he replied, he was just like,
yeah,
well,
guys
he's only got a few more years left, so maybe I'll just like wait out or something
Yeah.
like that.
so funny. So then he's like, oh, like I'll stop bothering you. I'll just email support and ask all the rest of the questions. I was like, cool, man. Like, and then told Ginny to look out for him. I guess he was still really funny over email with Ginny. Like she was like laughing in the corner, and she had an idea to get him one of those like, box of cat toys. I think is what it was for like 2 months, or it's for like 6 cats or something.
Subscription kind of thing.
Yeah. And with the note of like, hopefully your cat will play with this instead of smart betting or whatever.
Distracted over. More fun
Yeah.
fun to scratch.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like little
it's
stuff
cool. It's
like
fun
that.
to do.
Yeah.
It's cool when we see a tweet come in of them talking about it, being like, oh, cool. They
Yeah.
like this thing.
Yeah.
We're trying to. Ginny has a document, right, where she like lists what she did, like the person she sent it to, what she sent, and then there's a column for like what happened. Like
Yeah,
if
the
they like
result,
Facebooked it, tweeted it, whatever. So we're trying to kind of, for lack of a better term, quantify it, just to see if there's like, anecdotally it's awesome and it works really well, but it's going to be really interesting to actually have data to back it up, which I think we should have enough soon to like do like a nice blog post about it or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about Smart Betting's launch.
Yep.
So we launched Smart Betting. Let's talk about it.
Yay.
Finally,
Yay.
after the Kickstarter was in 2013.
2.5 years ago, the Kickstarter launched.
It's a quick launch.
Yeah. Yep.
Just really polished it.
Touching my mic. Sorry for
That's all right.
audio.
What was the launch date about?
Our plan was
January
to try
or
and deliver before Christmas 2013,
Right.
which is hilarious.
Yeah,
In hindsight,
2013, yeah.
hilarious. It's-
And then we kind of tried to do before Christmas on.
we didn't make Christmas 2015.
Yeah.
So yeah, we actually shipped. We actually shipped in what was it?
January 25th.
Yeah, late January.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 week ago yesterday.
So what's that? 2 years, 2 years, 3/4 of a month late.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No big
No
deal.
big deal.
Come on.
Yeah. Nice to have that. Nice to have it going. Nice to have it going.
If
So-
you listen to the podcast, we've talked a little bit about the nightmare that was that
Yeah.
with why, but it's been on my to-do list to do this big, like the whole timeline, how we lost all this money, like how it all went down, how we got out of like the lowest low, and we're able to make it right by our original backers in the end, and finally like deliver the product. You can buy it now. It ships the next day. You can get it, which is very exciting. I'm very relieved.
Yeah. So launch went really well. It was on Mashable. It was on.
Well, let's.
Back up a little
All right, I'll
bit.
back it up.
I will tell you about my day on launch day. So these
Okay,
guys
all right.
stayed up super late, like finishing stuff off.
We were all three of us here the whole weekend. Then Sunday, like you went home but worked from home.
Yeah.
The plan was for you to go to bed at normal time, wake up at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
How was that? I was here till 6:30. Like walked home, like high five the runners on their way, like in the morning.
Wow.
Like crashed. I mean, not really, but like crashed, and then you I think went to bed at the same time.
Yeah. Pretty late.
We're like hoping I wake up and
Yeah.
it's doing well. I don't know.
So it was actually
wake up
kind of
then.
scary because, like, I went to bed and there was still a lot to do, and I had all these emails queued up in my Gmail to like send out to like all my friends and family. Like they were like, it's not like a mass email blast. It's just like I'll handwrite
Yeah,
each
your
one.
buddies, yeah.
They're all queued up to go out at 9 a.m. And then I was like, well, maybe what if they didn't finish it? Like, hope all these emails are going to go out. That's a little bit scary. Anyway, woke up, like checked, like it launched. That was like a first relief.
Yeah.
Wait, what time did you wake up?
Probably woke up around 7
Okay.
a.m.
Okay.
Launched, that was good. Check Product Hunt. It's like cool. We were like doing pretty well on there.
You
I
were,
think we were
like,
like number
number
two
two,
at the
yeah.
time with like 100
Yeah.
upvotes, something like that. Was awesome.
Yeah.
Then check sales. No sales, which is a little bit scary to see that.
Especially when there is a lot of activity already on something.
That's the
product
thing. It's
on.
one thing being like it's up and there's no sales and no traffic. That's one thing. There's like thousands of visitors, no sales.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is scary. Because normally, like if that was a Peel or a Mod or an emoji mask or literally any other product we've ever launched, you'd at least see some sales. Some validation that
Yeah.
the thing you've been working on for like 2.5 years isn't just, that it actually resonates with people. People actually want it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like got up, got dressed. I went to the gym. All time, just like, checking my phone. We're getting like tweets and stuff. Like everything's going well on paper, apart from the fact we've made no sales.
It's like something's broken.
Yeah. So I'm like still kind of freaking out. You guys aren't even awake yet. So like I'm just kind of by myself.
Yeah.
Just like, working out, whatever. Still checking like probably every 30 seconds. Like I probably just like looked like an idiot when I was like, on the
You're at the
elliptical
gym.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Eventually like go out, get changed, check my phone. For like, the 100th time already that day, we made two sales.
0 to 2.
Yeah, 0 to 2. I was like, okay, good. It was such a relief.
Like
it was
not
very,
anybody
very
you
scary.
recognize too.
Right.
Thanks, Mom.
Which, in hindsight, makes a lot of sense because it's really all that traffic at that point, which is Product Hunt, and these are people like early adopter types that aren't necessarily in the market for $300 bedding. At like 9 a.m.
Yeah. We knew conversion rate would be less than Peel and Mod because it's just higher price.
Yeah.
We just had no data point on how much worse it would be.
Yeah.
So we were freaking
So
out.
it was really, really scary.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, you guys woke up, and then things started to pick up, and just a few different news organizations wrote about it,
Yeah.
and it ended up in a good day. Did you pull actual sales figures?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you
Yeah.
want to say sales figures?
I only have the one written down for how much we've done since we launched, but I know launch day we did 13K and some change. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah. And we took guesses too. I was
Mm.
closest. I guessed 14. Yeah.
Well, you were low, and
I was
high.
low. I think I guessed like 8,000 something.
Yeah, I was high. I can't remember what.
Yeah. I think like 40 or something.
It was interesting. Like, very, very different launching something like this to launching like something like a Peel or a Mod in terms of just like price point and how we positioned it and just like conversion and all that stuff. Like none of us had any clue what to expect. Like I think that would have been a very interesting conversation to record
Yeah.
before launching, just being like,
yeah.
we honestly have no idea.
We talk about this a ton.
Yeah, because even like so we made $13,000. Seems like a lot of money. That
not
actually
very
wasn't
many
very many
orders.
sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many sales was that roughly?
We do that.
Math.
It wasn't
Yeah.
very many. Maybe like what?
I'll do it. Real
I was
quick.
going to
Keep
take a
talking.
guess then. And I kind
You're
of
like
got
way up.
nervous.
Only like 4 sales. Yeah. No, what's funny is if any of our other products had a day like that,
Oh.
we'd be getting sale notifications all the time.
How many sales?
I did, I think probably average checkout's like 380. And I think we did 13.5, which is, it's 35 to 36 sales.
It doesn't seem like
Yeah.
very much when you just say that number out loud, but I mean, obviously, it's a lot of money.
It's
Yeah,
a
very high
spread
price.
out thing.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, David.
No, it's fine.
Finish that thought. Because it's super interesting.
With all the other products, you see these sales coming in all the time. And you're like,
Yeah.
cool, another sale, like another like $20, like another $20, another $20. Here to get the same thing. I mean, it's obvious, but it's weird to only get like you got a sale and then what seems like a long
Yeah.
period of time for a $13,000
It's a
day or
different
whatever.
kind of energy.
Then you get another one.
For sure. Like,
So every single one, it's like, yeah, like
Exactly.
another sale.
like Peel, you're right. It's very sustained. It's like an exciting all day. It's
But
very
really,
upbeat. You just see
quantity
them all
wise, it's
coming
not
in.
that many, even though it's the same revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Kickstarter 2.5 years ago, pains me every time we say that, did $57,500 in like pre-order revenue. All the tiers were pre-orders. There was no like donation or anything. And I really, really wanted us to do at least that in our first 30 days. Because we got a ton of press, but like, you know, we're bigger now and we know more of what we're doing. And we're definitely going to do that. In the last 7 days, we've done $51,200 in sales.
Wait, what was
Wow,
that?
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
It was that much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, what was the Kickstarter again?
57.5.
Okay.
And
So-
what remind me again? I think you just told me.
50. You like
We'll just go around.
Go on.
What was that again?
$51,200
Okay. Yeah, that is cool.
as of like
Oh, yeah. Well,
several hours ago.
That is cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that's really nice is, like, Peel has always been our number one product that was doing really well.
It hasn't always been number one. but
For the past,
as of
yeah,
late,
yeah, sure. But
yeah.
for the past little while,
Yeah.
that's been the case, and it's nice to have another one that's doing so great. So we have at least two that are doing really, really well, and the other ones are still doing well. But
Yeah.
nice to have two big wins.
Yeah, there's some encouraging numbers that are like coming in. Like, yeah, a lot of this is because we had a big email list and we got a little bit of press. So like, where are we gonna land when it's kind of all died down? But it started to die down this week, and we're still pretty steady. Conversion rate's actually gone up,
Yeah.
and we started doing retargeting and just like cold advertising on Facebook. Retargeting is very, very profitable.
I think you should say Peel's retargeting number before you say its number.
I think Peel's, so like our average cost per acquisition is like 15, 16 last year. I think retargeting is the cheapest. I think it's like probably like lifetime average like $5 to $8 maybe.
And just to be clear, this is how much it costs us to advertise to customers who've already seen Peel,
Visited the site. Yeah.
then they end up buying.
So they're
Right,
kind
right.
of primed.
So it costs
Yeah.
us $5
converts
to like
there.
get one of those customers to actually purchase something. So it's very profitable.
Yeah, yeah. So like they've already shown interest by visiting on their own accord,
Yeah.
basically.
And that's
And-
that's an item that costs $25. Impulse buy, not very expensive.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so what is smart bidding?
Smart betting so far, and there's been several like many sales, not just like the first one. It was $9.60.
On like a $300 item.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah. So that's good.
Yeah,
that's
that's
encouraging. Yeah.
That's promising.
So we'll see, but hopefully, and if cold ads on like Facebook and Twitter, and we're gonna experiment with Pinterest will be a new thing. If those work, then we have like a real winner on our hands, I think. So we'll see, but it's definitely been encouraging. Feels like kind of all the hard work and all that's starting to pay off. So it's definitely exciting.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
Any more smart bidding stuff we want to talk about?
I can't think of anything else.
Okay, so next thing I have to talk about is this thing we did yesterday, which is we filmed a marketing video for Peel.
Yeah.
Um,
I can't wait.
let's talk about the whole thing. Like what the
Yeah.
Okay, so the video is going to be titled "What Happens When what was it titled? What happens when you
What
order a
happens-
Peel case or something?
Yeah, and then like ... every time. maybe.
Yeah. So the idea is we'll put it on the order confirmation page. Like, this is what happened. This is what just happened at the office. Like, you just ordered a Peel case. This is what just happened at
Yeah,
the office.
is like kind of what we want you to feel like.
And yeah, it's going to be interesting. We wanted this to be kind of funny.
We wrote the script.
Yeah.
Like one day there was like we're all talking, and it's just like I think we came up with this like stupid script, and it's pretty much stayed the same since that
Yeah.
original like
Yeah.
20-minute spitball conversation.
So it kind of starts off like everyone in the office just sat there, just like very obviously not doing work. Like
Yeah.
I'm sat there just like playing with a Rubik's Cube like this, just like, you know, kind of like half asleep.
Yeah, it's very monotone. There's no music. We'll probably have like a different like filter on like the lighting, make kind of dark and mellow. And,
Because everyone's so bored.
yeah,
basically.
we're all like doing stupid stuff. Like I'm like playing with a spreadsheet, like putting in fake numbers to like make the graph go really high. And like, ooh, like, really excited.
David's photoshopping
then-
himself on a muscly person's body.
Yeah,
Normal day.
yeah.
Jason is like eating a donut,
Jason's
like really eating a donut.
Yeah,
Like all
yeah.
in one.
Megan's
Megan's blowing bubble gum and she's like, this is like kind of ad lib. She just
Yeah.
like did this, like blowing bubble gum and it's like kind of fell out like that. It was awesome. I think
Yeah.
that's really funny.
yeah.
Then like this notification pops up on my screen, on my computer screen, and it's just like, you know, you just saw the peel case. And I get up and I'm just like, guys, I'm not going to shout this loud because we haven't done this, but I shout like, we saw the peel case like that.
So excited.
Um,
So from there, there's a shot. Jason, like this is when upbeat music will start. Like all of our moods
It's
change.
on.
We're so excited now. Jason hits this giant like launch red button, like, you know, launch a rocket or something, and a giant confetti cannon like shoots off, and there's this like they got like this awesome red like 6K camera that films awesome slow-mo, and we all just like, you know, go crazy. I think so. You and I like run and like you jump into my arm,
Yeah.
I'm hugging you. You had the best one.
I dance around, do some
Yeah,
fist bumps.
it's
or
gonna have to
something.
be like you have to see it for you.
Yeah, Jason's break dancing.
Jason rips off his shirt and then
Oh,
rips
yeah.
off his face.
Poor
Megan,
Jason.
there's like a shot of her like, you know, being super excited and running over. And she's supposed to basically be getting this like jewel box where we keep every peel case. And she brings it in and like sets it down. And we're all like sitting around and you lean in and you open it up and it's gonna have that like angel like oh noise. And we're all just like really excited.
I start crying a little bit. Marshall consoles me.
It's okay, yeah.
Then we all like run down the road like dancing. Like, I mean, I hope this is funny. Like,
Yeah.
it's either going to be really funny or
It's-
really stupid.
It's scary doing a somewhat comedy type
Yeah.
video because it could turn out real bad if it's not funny.
Yeah.
And then so
But
then
it'll
we
be
take the
us-
box to the post box.
I think
put
it'll
it in
be
the post
funny.
box, and
Yeah.
that's the end of the video.
Package it up and then that's it. The end is we all kind of like supposed to go back and like go back to our like boring self, like,
Loops again.
computer.
Next order.
And then you just hear like John shout, "Guys!"
Oh, right.
And either you see the hand on the button and like confetti kind of half shoots off, and then it cuts.
Yeah.
So it's like we get this excited every single time. Yeah. We did shots at 9 a.m. yesterday to like kind of all loosen up and like, you know,
yeah, that was
look like idiots and be okay with
I'm in
it.
so much pain today. The amount of like dancing and just stupid stuff
Yeah.
I ended up doing, like my whole body aches. I
Yeah.
feel like an old
I
man.
lifted you like 20 times.
Yeah. I rode you like a horse.
Oh no! We have to cut it there.
Anyway,
Oh man. Oh.
So we haven't seen the video yet, so I just hope it's going to be funny, like you were saying, David. Because I mean, showing like intentionally funny stuff or like comedy type stuff is a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Because if it isn't actually, it's not funny. We're just going to look stupid.
I want to say this too. The Jason ripping off his shirt thing was just like in passing. Like you should be so excited to like just rip off his shirt, like dance around. Turns out for continuity, his shirt had to be off for like
The whole time.
another good chunk of the video.
It's actually
Which is
funny too, like,
unintentional. But
the
it
original
was
plan was he was going to
funny.
rip his shirt off and just do press ups. Just so like it was just so pumped that we saw the pill case. He's just going to do some press ups. For some reason, we decided he would be funnier if he like danced. But in the context of him dancing, like it doesn't make much sense in taking his shirt off. So he just rips his shirt off and like does a dance. I don't know. It's going to be
It'll
hopefully
be
funny.
Interesting at the very least.
Yeah.
Interesting at the very least.
Yeah, he was a trooper.
He was a trooper.
Yeah.
Continuity, Jason. For continuity.
Also, the donut thing was just like you know, we're just going around like, okay, so I'm doing this, so you guys are doing
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah,
Jason, what can
donut.
Jason be doing? And I just had this donut. I was like, Jason, eat the donut. And then like, yeah, I took like a bite of it. I was like, no, shove the whole thing in.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you feel like a bully yesterday?
Kinda, yeah. We did kind of bully him yesterday. I do feel. Kind
We're gonna have to edit all this out for HR.
Yeah.
But-
Need one HR will come calling.
Yeah.
it was fun. Hopefully it turns out as good as I think it will. Like we saw some of the shots. The guy showed us some of the shots on the camera, and the individual shots, were really cool.
They like that red camera is like a $80,000 camera. It looks so good.
8,000?
80.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
correct you. It's
Yeah.
ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That'll be, I think, done like late next week.
So
We'll tweet it or whatever, and yeah.
hopefully it's fine. If you don't see any tweets or anything, it was just terrible, and we're just so embarrassed we're not sharing it.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Next thing I have on this list is new minimums I actually wrote every day, but that's not right. Every Wednesday.
Yeah. Like Christmas holiday was kind of nuts. We kind of, I don't know, fell off the horse on that one. But Megan's now the minimums editor and got a ton lined up, and we're releasing a new post every single Wednesday. We actually have.
Talk about that. No.
No.
All right.
Not until it's done. There's some deal with minimums that might happen, and it's probably not worth talking about unless it actually does. But yeah, it's been nice to consistently every single Wednesday morning a new minimums launches, and honestly, we might go double here soon per week because there's just so many. I think they're queued up to like
April or something. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We did.
I think it's getting progressively more interesting too. Like we're getting gradually like better access to more interesting people.
Yeah.
And just getting better at help guide them of what types of items and
the feature,
the content, and the photos, everything's kind of getting.
That's something I think it's probably worth talking about because I think it's interesting. Like the thing we were talking about this morning, like really the format's always been for minimums, or at least it has been so far, is just like very open-ended, very vague. It's just like, what are your most interesting possessions? And some people are really, really good at interpreting that question and like, pulling really interesting stuff and like coming up with interesting stories and backstories and anecdotes. And some people are really good at that.
Like to us, that means an interesting item. It could be like a coat hanger, but has an interesting story.
Yeah.
Like the story is everything. Could be 50 years old, or you bought it yesterday. Like it doesn't matter. Just if the story is cool and interesting, and sorry, carry on.
But some people are really good at that, but some people aren't very good at that.
Like my MacBook, and an iPhone.
Yeah.
So we want to try and build a better process for like kind of encouraging people, or like pushing people into kind of choosing things that will probably resonate with the readers better. And one of the things I think we're going to do is kind of come up with like a set of standardized questions, like on the back end. This is something that you as a reader will never actually see. It's just something we'll send to people we feature. And there'll be questions posed as like, what book have you read that like changed your life and why?
Yeah.
And then it's we'll always get a book, which is something we know like people really like to like hear about, and also kind of prompt them to answer the question in a much more interesting and detailed way. So I think that's going to be interesting. I just thought it was interesting just to touch on it quickly because as soon as we're talking about it.
Yeah. Like the people we've been able to get is kind of like quality, for lack of a better word, has definitely been increasing. Like TJ Miller's agent like reached out to us. Like people ask me when we got TJ Miller, they're like, dude, like how'd you get that guy? He's the guy on what's it called?
Silicon Valley.
Yeah. And I was like, actually we just really got lucky, and like his agent reached out to us, and I think that just speaks to like the value in like a good domain and just like staying steady with it and just like trying to get better with like features and people.
It's been a really, really, really valuable tool in terms of building relationships with people.
Definitely.
Revenue, it's not a huge moneymaker by any sense of the means, but it's so worth doing just in terms of just like fostering good relationships.
This is how Megan found out about Need Want.
Wow, I didn't actually know that.
Was through minimums.
Huh.
So
I forget,
that's a good example.
Good point.
So there's a few people like Jack Archer, for example, which leads in quite nicely to the next thing we're going to talk about. Just someone we liked, we thought was really cool. He's the founder of Arrows.
Yep.
We didn't have any kind of relationship with him previously. We reached out to him, asked if we could feature him, and now we're pretty good friends with him. You guys are going out to LA
we'll meet
him
up with
like
him
next month.
Yeah,
There's really been multiple examples of just similar things like that.
Yeah.
So it's been really, really, really cool.
yeah.
That actually leads me quite nicely onto the next one. So one of the things we're planning on doing in the future is we're going to be doing a Peel winter line. And what that means is, so we've kind of been having requests from people who've wanted different color Peel cases since I started it, you know. And we're kind of thinking about it, and like the obvious thing to do is just like throw up some like generic like 5 colors and just like, okay, then we have like 5 colors, which was an option, but we thought it would be more interesting to do like a seasonal type collection, have someone knowledgeable about fashion or design curate a color palette of, I think we're doing 6 for the winter line.
Yep.
So this first one is curated by Jack Archer. He chose 6 like wintry colors, created this really cool like mood board, sent us like a load of really nice like lookbook style photography. What?
So like you just said, fuck.
Did I?
Carry on.
Oh.
I don't know.
Whoops. Anyway. So that's the plan. We hired actually 2 photographers we met through Minimums to do the lookbook. Ben
Yeah,
and
who
Caden.
also did the smart betting shoot.
Betting
Yeah,
stuff.
That's another also reason why it's been awesome.
So they're currently actually in Big Bear, California,
yeah.
shooting the winter lookbook for us.
Yeah,
We sent them 6 color cases. We got some dummy phones, a couple of real phones.
Yeah.
Sent them to them in California. They just like took like a trip up into the mountains where it's all snowy and stuff, and they're doing like a winter lookbook for us. David's pointed out on numerous occasions that it's
Oh, it's a little late.
but way late, and actually we won't be able to launch it until the end of February because it's Chinese New Year, which kind of put a bit of a damper on things.
Which is where Springline would normally come out.
Yeah.
But
So-
we're gonna
It'll be the late winter collection.
late.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm
Well-
really excited about it. I think it's gonna look really, really cool. I think it's gonna like up the perceived value of the brand. It moves it more in the direction of this like fashion item and less in the direction of this like tech gadget, which I think is cool.
Yeah. Plus, it's like a cool, like when people would ask about case or colors, it's like, yeah, we should do that, but like what? There's a million colors. You could do any.
Yeah.
You know, there's like millions and millions, and it's just kind of a good reason to do those colors like certain times of the year.
They're going to be limited edition. I think we're going to
Yep.
get maybe 1,000 of each color, and once they're gone, they're gone. And yeah, every 4 months there'll be a completely new set of like 6 colors.
You have one on your phone right now, which I don't
Which
think you show,
it's over there.
but it looks awesome.
I love it so much. It's so cool.
We're jealous. We're
Yeah.
jealous.
We have like all of them
We have
went
so many
for the
samples.
shoot,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
this guy got some
Just want to test it. Just need to test it.
perks of the job. Perks of the job.
Next thing I have on my list here is we're going to start doing Peel custom cases. So something that worked really, really well for Mod, and I think we talked about this before. We do custom notebooks for Mod, and that actually makes up more than 50% of
like
actual Mod's total revenue.
The customer for that is like a corporate buyer buying for an event or like marketing reasons where it's like, hey, we did notebooks for Google early on. Like they had some, I think it was AdWords event or something. They just wanted blue notebooks with the Google logo stamped on it. And they want 1,000 of them or whatever. So it's great revenue, and being able to kind of do anything for these people helps you win more deals. And it's something we thought we just couldn't do for the last 3 years.
We were researching it a while back. John and I went to this one place trying to test, see how we can get printing on it. Melted the case. All sorts of sort of things that we were excited about, and then we went, oh no.
They were so confident.
You guys
this isn't gonna
trolled
work.
me too. You're like, oh yeah,
oh, look at this
really
one.
well.
This is
Yeah.
good.
And it was this unrecognizable piece of plastic with this cartoon on it or something.
yeah.
But yeah, we finally figured it out.
Yeah, we found a good process, and
Yeah. Got a bunch of samples last week.
they
look
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
so
look
cool.
really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So we can do the actual case can be a totally custom color. It can be complete, kind of see through like our cases are right now,
Yeah.
or just completely solid, so you can't see the Apple logo through, which in this case is probably the thing most people will do, I think. And then we can also print the actual logo too on top of it, so it looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
So the plan is to launch that's going to launch probably halfway through February. So if you're in the market for some custom peel cases, keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
Also leads us quite nicely on to the next thing we have to talk about, which is the peel redesign.
Yeah, so I think after the smart bedding launch, or in the middle of designing it, when we took all these great photos, really thought out the whole site through.
Definitely our most polished site.
Yeah,
for
definitely
sure.
the most polished site. We then kind of went back and looked at Peel and saw some things that could be a lot better, both with the design and with photography. And the other thing is, since that design, we came out with the juice bags and kind of more products, and now with things like the custom cases and the seasonal lines, it makes sense to kind of restructure everything and turn it into a fuller store versus just one thing. So that's kind of coming up for this year, which I'm excited about. Even just taking all these photos, we all have some great ideas for the site. So that'll be fun.
We launched the current design March last year.
Oh,
I think we'll probably
yeah.
launch it March this year.
Nice.
Good point.
Got a year of mileage out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
So yeah, the plan is to fly Ben and Caden out, who are the LA-based photographers for Minimums, also the people that did the photography for Smart Bedding,
Yeah.
and also the people we just mentioned doing the winter lookbook for Peel. Going to take some
And our
photos
friends
cases.
now.
And our friends, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be cool. I'm really excited about it. Like, for me personally, I find it very exciting, just because thinking about where Peel came from, how they threw it up in some shitty Shopify theme, first orders were packaged with the bubble mailer,
I got
my
one of
scruffy
those.
handwriting, no packaging at all.
Yeah.
It's very gratifying to see the kind of contrast between what it was and what I'm sure it will be once the new website's redesigned. I'm excited about it. So yeah, we'll probably have more updates about that soon. And that's pretty much it. Apart from that,
Yeah.
do you want to say anything about
I mean, you're working on it. Working on a new company. Think it will be really interesting. There's really nothing to
It's
say.
in very early stages.
It's super cool.
I think
It'll probably launch in the summer, most likely.
which summers usually are kind of quietest time.
Coming
There's
soon.
normally a kind of
Summer 2016.
dip, so it's probably good timing.
Mystery
Figure
Co.
out.
7 from Need One Inc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for something in your home.
I want to talk about it, but it's just a bit too early. I think maybe next episode.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it a little bit.
once we get it a little more drilled in,
Yeah.
I think we'll be in a good spot.
Cool.
It's very much in an R&D type phase for you right now.
Yeah.
Figuring out different elements of it.
But
It's
yeah,
fun.
so far it's been pretty promising.
Mm-hmm.
We got the first, I don't know what we would call it, R&D experiment back, and it worked as we were hoping it would.
This is going to frustrate you.
yeah.
And the thing that was tested was good.
And that's kind of why I didn't want to talk about it. So I don't know. I don't. Want, it's just everyone's like, "What the fuck are you guys even talking about?"
Yeah.
I don't know. One thing I will say, we used to do listener questions. We haven't got a listener question in a while.
Yeah, we haven't really prompted for it in a
So
while.
if anyone has any questions,
To be honest, I think we just have forgotten. We used to have an internal task.
we should
this.
lead with that next time. Now these people had to get through the whole
Yeah.
episode and the very end
Yeah.
after they quit out because they're upset about this mystery company.
We've actually had a few where they're sprinkled in an existing email.
got it.
Please send us an email with subject line hatching question.
Yeah, if you do have one, it's hello@needone.com. I don't know. They're usually interesting. It
Yeah.
usually gives stuff to talk about.
Good little prompt.
Manufacturing, fulfillment, anything.
Yeah, anything you think
Marketing.
we might be able to answer.
Numbers,
Yeah.
personal questions.
Because I think it's also nice to get another set of eyes on something. Maybe we can even talk about that. I don't want to bounce around too much, but about how we kind of launched Smart Bedding and there was a lot of confusion over the copy and the positioning and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So we started with a tagline: "Never make your bed again."
Oh, okay. Sorry.
With the current positioning, which was a lot more about, as well as the snap system to make your bed quicker.
Originally the Kickstarter was all about that connection system. All
So
about
very
it kind
little
of changed
much-
to broaden more
Yeah.
of the material and all sorts of different things.
Old was the new thing about it. The thing to get excited about was the design. Helped you never make your bed again. Had some design improvements over traditional bedding. The fabric material, all of that was pretty vanilla. It was cotton, 300 or 400 thread count. So we put all the focus in the marketing on never make your bed again. Tested the headline, like that one converted the best. With the new stuff,
Yeah, different positioning.
yeah, the like 3 pillars of new smart bedding is the design improvements, and then it's also linen. Linen, if you know anything about bedding, is like by far the best material for bedding, but it's a luxury item, so it's super, super expensive. So the third thing was to make linen affordable for kind of the everyday kind of person. So we're actually about half the price of almost anybody on the market. And we do that through better distribution, selling direct to consumer, cutting out the middleman, no retail markups, whatever.
Yeah. What was interesting though is like, you know, we were working on this like for a while, and like, because obviously we had all the context, all the backstory of like, you know, we knew how it worked, we knew the positioning was like, we understood all this stuff, but because we were so like in it, we kind of like
We were way too close to it.
We were too close to it, yeah.
For too long, yeah.
And like, you know, we launched, and a lot of the people was like, people were very confused, I think,
Yeah.
in the morning. We quickly realized and changed the tagline, and I think that solved all the problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, people were very confused.
Yeah, like the Kickstarter did a really good job. We had a GIF that showed kind of the problem and solution, like me lifting up a bed sheet or the duvet, and there was like a crumpled top sheet, and that was a problem. And then it was like side by side, another one lifting like same angle with smart bedding, and this sheet is like perfect. And a video, and the whole video like explained the whole thing. It was like kind of funny, and like we just flat out just like told the viewer in like 60 or 90 seconds. The new one didn't really have that.
Yeah. So I think the takeaway is to try and, well, I think we talked about doing this thing called user testing. There's a website, usertesting.com. I think it costs $50.
Yeah.
And you literally get a video of someone like talking like out loud, verbally expressing like what they're thinking, like when they visit your website. So that was a big takeaway for me. I was like, well, not doing this again without like showing at least some like independent people that haven't heard the backstory, don't understand the history.
Yeah.
Because you know, we'd showed people the website, but they were just our friends that kind of were going into it with as much knowledge as we were in terms of the positioning and like, where we came from and what we were now. So I just wanted to touch on that quickly.
So we like quickly tweaked. We do explain the design on the product page and so on, but on the homepage we tweaked the copy to be, what is
Just
it?
the headline was really confusing, so we changed it to like
Premium linen, honestly priced.
honestly priced.
So we focus on the other two kind of like pillars or features of smart bedding.
Yeah.
And then the design is still heavily featured on the product page.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
That's everything.
Cool.
If you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at Need1Inc. You can also follow us on Instagram, which we're trying to do a bit more of.
Seems like people don't use Twitter. Like I use Twitter every day, but I hear a lot of chatter that not a lot of other people do. So maybe follow us on Instagram.
You can follow us on Instagram too if you want. Yeah. I'm at John on Twitter and Instagram now. So
nice. So jealous. I'm on Twitter. I'm Marshall with one L, nice and short. On Instagram, it's my full name, Marshall Haas.
2 A's.
HAAS.
Digit on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, you too.
Nice. Cool. All right.
Cool.
Bye.